28 days. That's how long you have to sort out a new employee's super fund. If you miss this deadline, you risk penalties from the ATO. So, in this video, I'll show you the exact steps to set up an employee's super correctly, how to handle stapled fund requirements, when you can use your default fund, your payment obligations through SuperStream, and the important deadlines. Let's jump straight into it. Every new employee must receive a superannuation standard choice form within 28 days of their start date. This form allows employees to nominate their preferred fund, and you need to keep a copy for your own records for 5 years. The process then follows these steps. If the employee nominates a fund, you have 2 months to start paying contributions into that super fund. If no choice is made, employees must check for a stapled fund with the ATO. A stapled fund is an existing superannuation account that follows an employee throughout their career. When a new employee starts work and doesn't actively choose a super fund, their existing fund automatically becomes their stapled fund. This means employers must pay superannuation contributions into this existing account rather than creating a new one. The stapling system aims to prevent the creation of multiple superannuation accounts, reduce unnecessary fees and insurance premiums, and protect retirement savings from being drained by duplicate costs. If an employee already has multiple super accounts, the ATO determines their stapled fund using these criteria: the fund that received the most recent contribution, and, in cases of multiple active funds, the account with the largest balance. Only if no stapled fund exists can the employer use their default fund. Your default fund must offer an approved MySuper product, which is a low-cost, simple superannuation product, meet government standards and regulatory requirements under superannuation law, comply with any relevant modern award or enterprise agreement requirements, and be registered by the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, or APRA. You can verify a fund's status as a complying fund through the ATO's Super Fund Lookup Register. Once your fund is nominated, you can start making payments. Currently, these payments must be made by the quarterly due dates to avoid super guaranteed charge, which is a penalty you'll incur for not meeting your obligations. These are 28 days after the end of each quarter and are also known as superannuation guarantee due dates. Keep in mind that contributions are only considered as paid on the date the super fund receives them. This means you may need to allow extra time for the payments to be received, which is especially relevant if you use commercial clearing houses. A clearinghouse pays super to your employee super funds for you. You send a single electronic payment to the clearinghouse together with the contribution data for all your employees. The clearinghouse does the rest. If you have 19 or fewer employees or a turnover of less than $10 million a year, you can use the free Small Business Superannuation Clearinghouse. You can also choose from several commercial options, or your super fund may have a clearinghouse you can use. Either way, you must remember that even if you outsource some parts of making super contributions, you're still responsible for ensuring your employees' super contributions are paid correctly. When a due date falls on a weekend or a public holiday, you can make the payment on the next working day. I will mention that you can make payments more regularly than quarterly if you want to, for example, fortnightly or monthly. This is as long as the super fund receives your total super guarantee obligation for the quarter by the due date. And if you arrange with your employee to make after-tax super contributions on their behalf, the payments are referred to as personal super contributions. Make sure you pay these contributions on time, under the employee's terms of employment and any legal requirement. For example, industrial award conditions. Remember though, an employee's after-tax personal super contributions don't count towards your super guarantee obligations. In terms of making the actual payment, you'll use a system called SuperStream, which is the data standard you must use to report and pay employee superannuation guarantee contributions to super funds. Under SuperStream, you need to pay super contributions for your employees electronically, electronic funds transfer, or BPay. You also send the associated data electronically. The data is in a standard format, so it can be transmitted consistently across the superannuation system between employers, funds, service providers, and the ATO. It is linked to the payment by a unique payment reference number called a PRN. This means you can make all your contributions in a single transaction, even if they are going to multiple super funds. To meet the SuperStream requirements, you need to pay super and send employee information electronically. You can do this using your payroll system as long as it's SuperStream compliant. This wraps up this section of our Superannuation Masterclass. In the next one, we'll cover how to manage super and salary sacrifice arrangements. So if this applies to you, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. See you in the next one.